Hello, and welcome to another Let's Play of mine. This is River City Girls 0. I, of course, previously played River City Girls, so I figured it's only fitting that I play this game now that it's out. Despite the name, this is not technically a River City Girls game. It is an old SNES Kunio-kun game, and it very much focuses on Kunio and Riki rather than Misako and Kyoko. But this is the first game that featured Misako and Kyoko in a playable capacity, as well as it's just much easier to get across to an English player, or an American player rather, that this is tied to River City Girls by giving it the River City Girls denominatum. There are two English translations for this game, one that hews closer to the somewhat irreverent tone of River City Girls, and one that is a bit more faithful to the actual text that was present in the original game. We'll just, for flavor, we'll go to the one that hews closer to River City Girls. Let's go! You have 3 save files to work with. I already have one for my completed file here. Let's load up a new file on File 2. And start.
What you got there, Kyoko?
I don't know. That skeleton guy at the pawn shop said it was some really old video game about our first adventure together, but I have no idea how to play it.
Why would you buy something you can't play?
Well, he gave me a really good deal.
Hey, it's got Kunio on the label.
Our boyfriends are pretty famous.
Yeah, but not like video game famous. We gotta find out how to play this thing.
He did also throw in this thing for free. I think it's some kind of cyborg octopus?
Oh yeah, give me that. My dad had one of these things way back in the 1990s. You have to plug it into the wall in an old school TV set. Good thing you're too poor to have a fancy new HD TV.
I know, right? Hey!
Here we go.
What's with the blocky graphics?
Pixel games are cool again now, don't you know that?
Are they?
You can be player 2.
Like a Ricky!
Actually, I think we both play as everyone and switch between characters before they die.
What? I don't want to die!
Relax, it's just a video game. Now start kicking bad guy butt.
Oh, my outfit is hecka cute. Why don't I dress like that anymore?
I should really dye my hair blue again. And this is pretty rad. We should tell people about this game.
You think anyone's gonna care about a 25-year-old game featuring us and our boyfriends?
I don't know, maybe if they dress it up a little to feel more modern, like add a new intro, title song, some cutscenes, some new translations.
Okay, yeah, I could see that.
So yes, in sharp contrast to the SNES game that this actually is, it is added in a frame story of Kyoko and Misako reliving their very first adventure, although they do not seem to really recall the details of this. Just to fill up some of the screen space, I have put in one of the game's borders, because, I don't know, the really large black bars, and they are quite large for this game, were kind of obnoxious to me. Like I said, this game is an SNES game. It is Shin Niketsu Koha Kunio Tachi no Banka. I had to pull up GameFAQs to get that title, because as a dumb American, I have a very hard time recalling that offhand. And this is, not quite River City Ransom 2, actually quite distinct from that game. I've seen it described as Renegade 2, which isn't entirely accurate, so to speak. It doesn't really play much like Renegade either, which is more of an endless wave game. This story here is an establishing cutscene. Looks like someone was crossing the street and there was a hit and run via motorcycle. And who was the perpetrators of this act? None other than Kunio and Riki. This girl is just simply shock. And yes, I am playing the Nintendo Switch version, so you may see my friends list occasionally pop into view. I suppose technically I could go offline, but you know, effort. And with that establishing scene out of the way, the cutscene just loops until you hit the start button. There are 4 options on the menu screen, and by pressing left or right on the D-pad. You can switch between the two difficulties. There are only two, easy and normal. We're going to be playing on normal, of course. You can also do a 2-player start, a 1-player continue where you enter a password. If you want to use the password save function of the game, that is totally an option, though bringing up the overlay menu, you can simply save and quit and pick up where you left off, which much more convenient for the purposes of a Let's Play. Fortunately, if you do want to use the passwords in this game, they are just 4-digit numbers, so they are not that hard to write down or remember, and of course 2-player continue. This game is definitely more interesting as a 2-player game, but I do not have a 2nd player offhand, so we are just going to do a 1-player normal game. Let's go! And quite unfortunately, this game has a bit of a downer beginning, with us starting at the pokey. And who should be dropped off here? Why, none other than Kunio and Ricky. As you can see, Kunio has some impressive eyebrows in this game. Man, you could cut paper with those things. And we arrive in the prison proper. Who is this square-jawed officer? This is Takayama, the officer overseeing Kunio and Ricky within the prison. I don't know if this prison has a name. I mean, I suppose that was what was posted on front, but again, I am not particularly versed in Japanese. If I absolutely butcher any pronunciations, then I apologize. Takayama seems to have some relation to Mamoru, who is a friend of Kunio. Must be his father. And he is already off on the wrong foot with Kunio, as he believes he is the one responsible for Mamoru losing his way. Heading into the cell, we've got 3 goons here, and I think you can imagine where this is going. Heh. Kunio is, of course, quite the pugilist, and also has a bit of a hothead streak going, so he's not going to take orders from some guys in a prison cell. And we are thrust into our first fight, and this is the only time in the game where you actually fight 3 enemies at once, funnily enough. Basic combat here is that we have a punch combo. After the 3rd punch, Kunio will do an uppercut, sending these guys flying. Oof. We can jump and do a jump kick. We have a kick combo, which ends with an impressive drop kick. And Kunio, you should enter the WWE with that form. One thing that's kind of interesting is that you can mix your combos, do 3 punches, end with a drop kick. And as you can see, I got knocked out. Do 2 kicks. Do 2 kicks. And then end with an uppercut. Not really any reason to do that, but it's just something that's interesting. Let's just take this guy out. You can also guard by pressing the right or left trigger, and that'll be important for other things. One other option we have is there's a dedicated button for back attacks, the X button. And that is the extent of our move list right now. Also, at any moment, we can press the select button, or minus button, or the ZL trigger to switch between Kunio and Ricky. Kunio and Ricky are nearly identical at this point in the game, but Ricky has a different back attack. He has an elbow strike. Has considerably less range than Kunio's kick, so not that great. Let me see. Yeah, no other moves there. I was just checking to see if we had any of our jump moves yet. One other thing that we can do is when guys are down, we can hold down and press the kick button to do a stomp on them, take them down while they're on the ground. As you can see, I'm not doing terribly well here trying to go through the controls, but I'm not overly concerned about that. Expect to take a lot of damage in this game and definitely die at some points. This is Hinge's very old-school beat-em-up design, and it has no problem just killing you unceremoniously. The game checkpoints very frequently, though, and you have unlimited continues, so it's not anything to worry about. These guys, though, they don't hit very hard. They have very simplistic attack patterns, so not a hard fight at all. And of course, Kunio immediately clarifies that it was a frame-up. Hehe. You know, does it ever hurt your legs to be crouched like that all the time? I do know that is a common posture for Japanese delinquents to adopt, but do they do that all the time? I should look that up. We live in the internet era. I can look that up on Google. Apparently Kunio is rather put off by Hiroshi's light sympathies. Oh man, he came to visit you guys and you're just putting him down. What's the matter? How come? Oh dear. What could have happened? Looks like another associate of Kunio, though I'm guessing not one he's on particularly good standing with. Daiki is pulling a coup on Kunio's control over Niketsu High. And this is the first mention of Misako. Oh no. Seems like Hiroshi is spreading the rumor that she is getting busy with Daiki. Now, it's worth it to know, and spoilers for the ending of River City Girls. Mute the video for the next 30 seconds if you don't want to hear this. Misako is Kunio's girlfriend in this game, but as revealed at the end of River City Girls, that was not the case until this specific game. It just kind of randomly came out of nowhere for plot reasons. Typically, Kunio's object of affection, as River City Girls stated, is Hasabe. Seems like Kunio doesn't have the highest opinion of Misako either, since he's buying in these rumors. Man, this has just been a ton of bickering. Well, you know, high schoolers. That's only like a minute. Yeah, whatever. Looks like Kunio has a doppelganger. I think we can put two and two together there. Back in the cell. Kunio is on the up and up. He may be hot-headed and prone to combat, but he's not dumb. Man, if only we could get his bike back. But of course, I suppose we have more pressing issues at this moment. There's gotta be some way. Oh no. Come on, he's still in high school. He's got the rest of his life to live. He can't spend it in jail. Yeah, I'm just thinking about, I love these early beat-em-ups where the default standing pose for every character just looks so stiff and uncomfortable. Arms bent, fists always out forward, yeah. And these guys are going for a classic distraction tactic on the guards. Say they've got a serious case of the runs from bad food, and then... Full Nelson! Haha. Gets him every time. I worked on Raditz. Alright, let's make a break for it. That was surprisingly easy, despite all the build-up that got. Although, I suppose the hard part is going to be when we come across other guards and make it into the jail yard. Naturally, there are big walls preventing us from just walking out, and, of course, we've immediately run into guards. Fortunately, the staff of this prison seem to be rather unequipped, so we don't have to worry about any fragmentation grenades, spitting out hornets' nests or anything, or any guns. They just have batons which they attempt to crack your skull with. Now, you may notice our health has been restored. Your health gets restored at fixed intervals. You also get your health restored if you die and reload a checkpoint. This is actually a bit of a weird distinction. There are several points that restore your health that also double as checkpoints to go back to if you use a continue, but not every checkpoint that restores your health is the same as a checkpoint you go back to die. There are some checkpoints that do not restore your health, and the only way to restore your health on them is to, well, die. There will probably be at least a couple times in this Let's Play where I intentionally take a death and then just edit it out so I can enter a tough scene with full health. And it looks like Hiroshi did us a solid and put a ladder over the wall to help us escape. Look, he just had good intuition. Not that it isn't hard to figure what Kunio and Ricky are going to try and pull. So, I suppose I should say, as we get this title sequence with Kunio, Ricky, and Hiroshi being chased by the guard, I actually did know about this game well before WayForward had any plans to localize it, and even before River City Girls Zero. I saw a Let's Play of it way back in the day, at probably like 2009 or early 2010, but it was uploaded way before that. It was of the Japanese version of the game via a translation done by Aeon Genesis Project, a somewhat prolific fan translation group back in the days of early emulation. It was played by Chaz Dragoon and RP Genie. I actually checked out to see if their channels were still around. Chaz Dragoon is kinda, sorta still around. He uploads videos at a rate of like every 6 months. RP Genie's account has thoroughly been dead for 12 years, so I can safely say he is retired. The fan translation of this game, as is you'd expect from fan translations, especially from the era it was made in, was fairly faithful to the actual text of the game, but was also much more crass than a simply objective translation would probably get you. I'm guessing the team working on it was trying to make Kunio and Ricky sound like street thugs, but the dialect they decided to go with kind of made them ended up sounding more like the Trailer Park Boys. I suppose the mental image of Ricky having the voice of Bubbles is at least a little funny. Yeesh. As you can see, these guys have pretty considerable reach with their batons. Something to keep in mind with this game is that you gotta find the moves that work best on a particular enemy. Oof, yeah, getting shown the business here trying to do that. Looks like jump kicks are the way to go. Anything else is just resulting in me getting my head cracked open. Yeah, as you can see, these guys do not work very well when we come in. Punches come out a lot faster than kicks, so against a lot of enemies, they're generally the safer option when they're up close. They won't interrupt your attacks. Kicks have, with their higher range, you kind of want to box enemies out, but as you can see, this guy's baton has much higher reach than our kick, so we need to approach him with the jump kick, take him down, get a couple stomps in. You generally want to stick to 2 stomps. You can get a 3rd stomp in, but they get up at that point, and you're very likely to get hit, because even if you're standing behind them, in sharp contrast to River City Girls, they can actually just quickly pivot around and whack you. And you can see I'm taking advantage of the 2D plane walking up after I stomp him. Once that's taken care of, we can just go off screen. Tough talk, Takayama. But that is another encounter with the police. You know, Kunio and Ricky were framed, but I can't really say this looks all that great for them. That is probably another problem we're just going to have to deal with later, though. Hiroshi pointing out the obvious here. Yeah, better get some new fits. Conveniently, Niketsu High is about 10 steps away from where they were standing. And wow, he got ahead of us quick. Well, it is his job. Ricky does very low opinion of him. Alright, hopefully they don't have any sentries posted at the back. looks like they only got Takayama at the front, so I think it's safe to assume that he's the only one who's managed to get here so far. Nah, Hiroshi, lookout's important. Need you to be our eyes and ears, man. You must be able to whistle really, really loud. And at the back, we reach the pool area, and who should we run into but Misako? I can't help but notice that the female characters in this game are awfully spindly looking. Kunio, don't buy into the rumors. Kunio just doesn't feel like explaining it. Alright, up on the 3rd floor. We'll do it. And Misako bails on us in short order in order to do some errands. What could be more important than this? Well, I suppose that's irrelevant. Heading into Niketsu High. Haha, stock phrase. And it looks like Kunio's authority has diminished considerably since getting thrown in the slammer, so we've got to battle the Niketsu High Delinquents now. These guys are probably the most basic enemy in the game. Not terribly aggressive, you can easily do punch combos to take them out. As you can see, I can just hit them before they even get a chance to respond. Or we can do kick combos to box them out. Impressive drop kick. Heading over this way. You usually have to fight anywhere between 3 or 4 enemies to advance in an area. Kunio and Riki will not move onward until they satiate their bloodlust. So any guy standing in a hallway, you have to take them out. This is important to note because sometimes guys will spawn behind you and you have to double back to take them out. I didn't go over it, but we do have a dash mechanic in this game. Dashing, when you do it, it's auto-running. You just keep running until you either hit a surface or press back to stop. Dashing is not too terribly useful in this game, but you can do attacks off of a dash. Looks like there was only 3 guys to take out, so let's head up the stairs here. It's always a good idea to lead in with a jump kick to knock guys down, and you generally want to do your best to divide and conquer. As you can see, trying to take on 2 guys at once often results in you taking undue damage. Let's back attack that guy, take this guy down. As you can see, working these guys so they are nice and separate. Always take advantage of when one guy is knocked down to start working on the other guy. And there we go. A couple more stomps should take this guy out. We got back up. That was, I am very bad at judging the distance of my kicks. Alright. You, oh dear. Mr. Pink Hair, stop it. Oof. Let's just give this guy a good punch combo, and more stomps. I enjoy the stomps. I'm a fan. Can only hit him with 1 that time. Let's go up. You always want to try and kite the enemies from the diagonal plane when you're, have the advantage over them. See, we can just kind of kite in. I am screwing this up. Not very good demonstration, but what can you do? And this should take this guy out. Another stomp. Let's go up. And jump kick. There we go. There we go. There we go. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And of course, if you can do basic addition, you should know that the 3rd floor is after the 2nd floor. Unless you're in a region that does ground floors, I suppose. And once again, we've got more guys to take out. You may notice that there is not much variance in the enemies in this game. We've been fighting the same pink-haired and green-haired guy over and over again. Nice pompadour, though. Very common hairstyle in this game. I hope you appreciate pompadours. And one of these guys down. There we go. Alright, went much cleaner. Yeah, not too much to say about the Niketsu goons. There are going to be much tougher enemies to deal with as we get deeper into the game. Yeesh. Yeah, sometimes the enemies are just very random about whether or not they're caught in a stun lock. We will have better ways of getting around that. Actually, after we finish up with this area, as you can see, we've got a whopping 5 guys to take down in this room. It's a fancy jumping attack he did there. I wonder if we could do something like that. Well, that's just something we're gonna have to think about later. Take this guy down. Let's switch over to Kunio now. If any of your characters lose all their HP, that is game over, and you have to go back to the last checkpoint. So if you're getting low on health as Ricky or Kunio, you want to switch to the other. And hey, Daiki is wearing our duds. This is not something you earn, Daiki, so we're gonna have to canonize you real quick. What happened to Ricky's school? Exactly. Ooh boy, he's cruising for a bruising. I think you're exaggerating, creep. Heh. Narc. And we are thrust into our first proper boss battle against Daiki. We want to take out his buddy first, so let's just take this guy down. Daiki is not that difficult. He's not that different from a basic thug, really. He has a couple of different moves, and something that I hope I can show off here. Notice when he gets up, he starts flashing. Much like Kunio and Ricky, he has invulnerability frames on get up, so be mindful of that. You can't just repeatedly beat on him as he gets up like you can a regular enemy, but he is not too difficult otherwise. We'll get in 2 stomps, and this is kind of how you want to get boss fights in this game to go. Try and get the enemy up against a wall, and then try to do what loops them best. So we head up. He's up against this wall. We just kind of want to come in from the diagonal and just get him in a loop where we can combo him repeatedly. And pretty much every boss in this game has a move that allows you to effectively loop them like this. So just experiment and see what works with the most consistency. Daiki, we don't have to worry too much about it. As you can see, he can do stomps on us also. Too much about what's most consistent on him, since he doesn't hit terribly hard anyway. One thing that is annoying about bosses, and you're probably noticing this right away, is that they have lots of health in this game, so it can take a while to take them out. I haven't really been bothering with guarding too much. It isn't too necessary at this point, but alternatively, you can try and let Daiki throw the first punch and guard it, but that's a little inconsistent. It's very hard to tell when an enemy is going to attack in this game, so I'm not a huge fan of playing defensively in it. And there isn't any kind of parry system like there is in River City Girls. I keep describing these games vis-a-vis each other like they have anything to do with each other on a design level, but they really don't, aside from some very light similarities. River City Girls, of course, owes a lot more to River City Ransom than it does to this game. Purely on a design level, of course. And yes, now that Kunio and Ricky have their school uniforms, they are able to perform all of their moves. So we'll have a bunch of new moves to utilize when we make it to the next area. You're being paranoid. Misako takes it in stride, though. That's true love. Actually, Ricky is being a bit blunt here, but he does have a point. And of course, in this game, who else is Ricky's girlfriend but Kyoko? This is actually the first game that Kyoko appeared in, and the only time up until River City Girls where she was a girlfriend of Ricky in any capacity. That's funny to think about. Yeah, we may as well make a run for it. As you can see, Misako, perhaps in a somewhat ill-advised manner, also performs squats not that dissimilar from Kunio and Ricky. Kunio can see where this is all going. It does seem a little convenient that after a frame-up on them, their schools have just been commandeered by a bunch of thugs. The plot thickens. Not that this game exactly has an amazing plot, but you know, it is a much more involved one for a Super Nintendo game, much less a beat-em-up. Come on, Misako. When is an opportunity to come up like this again? And it looks like her conscience wins out. Ah, Takayama again. Cruising for another bruising, old man? Not sure how old he's supposed to be. I think Kunio and Ricky just like to rib him about that. He's starting to get a little annoyed by it. Hey, Mamoru! Mamoru, sorry. And he's giving us the opportunity here. Not exactly a perfect form full Nelson, but I'm guessing his father is less thrilled about the idea of cracking his own son over the skull with a knight baton. Actually, the low-res graphics kind of looks like he's holding a baguette. Stale breadstick. There's a comic I can think of there. And conveniently, Hanazono High is just not even a block away from Niketsu High. Also, yes, it's probably seen better days. Hey, Nobu. I'm saying this like I know who any of these characters are. I am not exactly well-versed in Kunio lore. Perhaps this guy is from Crash and the Boys. Do you actually do any learning in schools? Also, you've been put into forced labor? What? So, this has gotten pretty heavy. Not only have the high school delinquents seized control of their school, they have also enslaved their classmates at an amusement park. You know, I feel like the police should have bigger things to worry about than Kunio and Ricky at this point. Amusement park at the edge of town. That may be something to follow up on, but for right now, we should probably focus on the task at hand. Ah, man. Problems on top of problems. Huh. This conspiracy is just getting deeper and deeper. I have to wonder, though, is all of this really necessary to frame Kunio and Ricky specifically? We'll just have to ponder what this all means. What about the support pillars? Hi guys, you ready for a Niketsu High welcome committee? But we will save that for next time. Next time we will go through Hanazono High. Of course, instead of using the game's password system, I suppose I should show that off, just press the pause button, which in this case is the plus button, and you get a 4-digit password to reload your progress. We're not going to use that, though. We're just going to save and quit, and as you can see, we get a save state that just stops right where we were, and when we return, that is what we will be continuing off of. As always, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope to see you next time. Until then, goodbye.